Welcome everybody to Next Wave Automation's Project of the Month. I'm your guide, Rick Frazier. On today's episode, we're going to make a custom clock. Here's my method of designing and machining this custom clock. This clock is made of 5 pieces: a shield, a chisel, a claw hammer, a clock face, and a ribbon with a personalized message. In this video, we're only going to look at the claw hammer and the shield. The other items are done in the same way but with different STL files. This is a great gift or just to have one for your shop. So here we go. First thing you're going to want to do is come up here and create a file, or you're going to come in and load a file. If you load a file, load the Clawhammer file, and this is what you're basically going to see. If you go to the 3D view, here's our Clawhammer. Go to the 2D view, we have some lines here. If you notice that we have a layer for the Clawhammer, you have this line, and there's also one line right here. I usually put these on their separate place for the very fact when we go to do the tool paths, it's just easier to find them. So what I would do is I would move these to layer 1, and we'll rename the layer Outlines. And we'll change the color. We'll make it something nice and bright red. Now you can see those, and also I can come in here and just turn the Clawhammer off and still see my lines. So if you are just loading these things as CRV files, this is what you're going to end up with. You're going to end up with the Clawhammer and 2 lines. What we're going to do then is that we are going to set up the roughing, the finishing, the finish 2, and the Clawhammer profile. These are all necessary for each individual part that you're going to do. Remember, we're going to do a chisel, a clock face, a ribbon, and also the shield. So we come in here, these are all set up. The only thing that you really have to do is come in and set it up to your post processor. Now, if you make any changes in these files, you're going to have to recalculate all the tool paths. Okay? And as you can see with this one here, we use this outside boundary. And the reason I do this is, why do we want to cut all of this extra material away? We don't have to. Okay, so you come in here and click on that. You'll notice it's up here, it's being saved. 1/2 inch ball nose, save it to a toolpath, and 1 Clawhammer. You'll notice that I made them 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's the order that I end up cutting them. And just go through every file and do exactly the same thing. Come here, highlight, save the tool path, save it. Okay? That's all there is to if you just load the CRV file. The other CRV file that we have is the shield. The shield is a 2-sided machining operation. Okay, 16 by 16. On one side we have the shield itself. On the other side we have a pocket for the mechanism. Everything is centered off of the hole right here. So we look at our tool paths. You don't have to draw these toolpath outlines. The only one that I do is this one here. And the reason being is it centers up my clock face to my mechanism, so I'm sure it's going to be where it needs to be. So the other thing is that you can either drill this hole with the drill, or you can have it drill through with a bit on the CNC. The choice is yours. I usually drill it with my hand drill. It's not a big deal. But everything is centered on that hole as far as from one side to the other. You go to the other side, we have a number 4 shield pocket. It's on the bottom. Now, one thing about when you have two-sided stuff, when you go to save it, make sure you say add side to toolpath name so you know which side you're working on. So if I go here, it says shield profile, save it, and if I save it, see it saves top as that. Now when I go to the bottom, I have one there on the bottom. See, it says bottom on it. It designates which side it's on. So make sure that you do that when you are looking at that situation. Okay? Now that we've went through that operation, this is how you would do it if you just open up the CRV files. If you want to make it a little bit more custom and you want to, for instance, you want to move pieces around on this, okay, or if you want to put a different edge on it or something like that, then you're going to probably either modify this file or you're going to start from scratch. I recommend that you modify the files for the very fact a lot of the stuff is done for you. And for instance, if you want to change this profile for this path here, it's not that hard to do. What I did basically is I went over here to the clip art and went to panels and shields and I picked one. So all the hard work is done for you. So if you wanted a different shield, let's suppose you wanted this one, you just kind of drag it over here, get rid of this shield, drag this one in, size it appropriately, and center it. The only other thing I would do is on these lines here, I would definitely change or put them there. The reason I use those lines is it saves a lot of machining. Instead of machining all the way across the front of it, what I do is I make a outline around it. See, there's my outline. I usually make it red. I don't know why I didn't. There's my outline. Now I will come in to about here. In other words, I will highlight that line, come over to drawing here, and I will offset it inward, whatever distance I need to offset it. Okay? And it looks like about maybe 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to start there. I guess I could measure it, but after a while you get to kind of see it. See? So now I have this line. And when I go to machine this, all I'm going to do is machine between these two lines. I will go to my finish. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch ball nose bit and I will select the vectors that I want and say calculate. Now all I'm going to machine is that part right there. And a 1/4 inch bit will handle it right off the get-go. You don't have to rough cut this one. The 1/4 inch bit will handle it. If your machine can't handle it, you can always put a roughing in here. You could always come up here, say I want to do a roughing. Let's say I want to do a roughing with a 1/2 inch ball nose. So I go, all I got is a 1/4 inch ball nose. Put a 1/4 inch ball nose in there, and voila, I now have a roughing. And what that will do is come in there and rough it out a little bit, and then I'll come in here and do my fine tuning of it. Just makes your machining a little bit faster. So that's how I would handle the shield. If you want to change a shield, you can change it. But the thing you have to remember is change all your tool paths. So you want to recalculate everything. Every time you make a change, you want to recalculate. You want to recalculate every time you make a change. Okay? So, after we've got done with all of those, you save everything to your files, and remember that your 0 position is the material surface. When you flip it, make sure you flip it on this hole. The hole is aligned, and really the only thing that we're going to do is, if you remember, when I flip it, all I'm doing is putting a pocket for the mechanism in. When that's all done, that's all there's to it, and you're ready to go into the machining portion of it. Now we can take our files and take it over the machining portion. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to watch the machining and finishing videos for this project. For more projects, videos, and instructions, go to nextwave.com. Thank you for watching.